Welcome to You Ask Swish Answers, where I answer your questions on arachnids and exotic pets. Someone asks, what's the difference between a Old World versus a New World tarantula? This difference comes down to where they're from. New World tarantulas are from the Americas, while Old World tarantulas come from Asia, Africa, and Australia. But the biggest difference is how they defend themselves. New World tarantulas have these tiny barbed hairs on their abdomen, which is called their urticating hairs. They can kick these hairs off their abdomen as their primary defense mechanism. Old World tarantulas lack these urticating hairs, so they rely more on their speed, on their threat postures, and on biting. And because of this, Old World tarantulas are usually faster, more defensive, and their venom tends to be stronger. New World tarantulas are known to be a bit more calmer, more docile, slower to bite, and more beginner friendly. Old Worlds are more often fossorial and arboreal, so they either need deeper substrate or more vertical space. They can also require higher humidity than others, and when rehousing these tarantulas, you have to be very careful as they are very speedy. Old World tarantulas are also much more forgiving, which does make them better for beginners. They can be terrestrial or arboreal depending on their species, and New World tarantulas are the ones that people handle the most because they have calmer temperaments. There are even differences in their appearances and in their growth. Old World tarantulas usually have subtle colors but very striking patterns, and New World tarantulas are much more vibrant, like having red, blue, orange. A lot of people think that Old World tarantulas have striking patterns because they lack urticating hairs, but this hasn't really been confirmed. It mostly comes down to how they evolved in their environment, and while some patterns may help with camouflage, it's also not been proven. Old World tarantulas are known to be fast growers and also have a shorter lifespan than New Worlds. Your New Worlds grow a bit slower, but they live for a really long time. If you're deciding on getting your first tarantula, I'd highly recommend a New World tarantula. Brachypelma and Grammostola genera I usually recommend the most. And once you have a couple of months under your belt, then that is when you can start doing your research on keeping Old World tarantulas. So overall, New Worlds rely on their hairs and are much more beginner friendly, while Old World tarantulas rely on speed and venom and are better suited for experienced keepers. I'll be making these videos weekly. If you have any questions on arachnids or exotic pets, drop your questions down below and you may be featured in the next video. That was your answer for today's question, and I'll see you in the next one.